see. Are we live? We might be live.
We're live.
All right. How about you?
It is official, guys. We're live. Let's go. Let's go to the big screen so they can see us. Yeah, there we go, guys. It is episode 4
We may not be live.
of our live show. I'm pretty sure we are.
Oh, okay, good.
I just saw a little buzzer thing show up there, and we are here on this Thursday at noon, hanging out with you. We're totally stoked to be here once again.
All right, guys. Yeah. So what? This is episode 4.
Episode 4.
Getting into a rhythm here.
This guy missed.
I missed
Last
last week's.
Do you
Do
want to tell him what you were doing?
I was at camp.
It was like a adult summer camp.
It was an adult summer camp where it was a songwriting camp in Cambria, California. I was the only person that was there that was under the age of 50. And it's a good time. I had a good time. We were there for like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wrote some songs, played some music.
Yeah.
I didn't dance the jig. I was thinking about that, but
We didn't get a chance to do this. Did you write any new songs while you're there?
I did write some new songs while I was there. I started 3 songs. I completed 1.
How long does it take to write one? I'm curious about this. We haven't had a chance. Guys, this is our chance for Craig and I to catch up because we're so busy.
Right. I would say it takes a good 3 hours of actual time, where you're sitting down and thinking about it and writing, and then takes a bunch of 3 times every time that you go through the song and edit it. So you might go and do it in a couple hours and rewrite it and stuff. So I'm still new, so it's working out.
We have seen him perform at the Sweetwater in Mill Valley,
Yeah,
which
that's
was
true.
pretty rad.
When you say we, it was you and a lot of other people.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. He's a little shy about it, but it's actually really cool. And Craig's a pretty darn good guitar player, as you may see in one of our future yet to be released videos.
Right.
We got to finish that guy.
Yeah, okay. Oh, right. The that's
YouTube
right.
video.
That's right.
The YouTube video, capital THE.
All right, so guys, we are assuming that everybody can hear and see us, but let us know. Oh, not hearing. Sound isn't clear. Sound is buzzy. Oh.
Sound is buzzing. Okay, guys, we'll try to fix that.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can fix that.
Let's see what's going on here with the sound standpoint.
Okay. See if that is any better.
Guys, let us know if this is any better. Just a little test on the sound, just to see if that is good or not. We'll check in your comments.
Let's see. Go back to the comments for a second. Change source, change audio.
Good there.
Yeah, should be good. All right, should be good.
Let's go back
see.
to the comments
Yeah,
just to
let's see.
Guys, let's see if the sound is still good or not. Make sure you just kind of chime in. We definitely appreciate it if you are able to do that.
There we go.
Oh, Chris. Thanks, buddy. He says we look dreamy. Mr. Chris Douglas. Chris is the local president of the local prestigious Golden Gate Triathlon Club. And whenever we get a compliment from Chris, it makes our day. No buzz anymore. Looks like we're good. Sound is a little bit too low, perhaps. It's better now. Thanks, guys. Buzz is back.
The buzz is back. The buzz is back. I don't know what the buzz is from.
Yeah. We have an audio problems, guys. Bear with us. We'll see you trying to fix this, but we're going to forge ahead in this thing. Now,
What's the first thing you want to talk about?
so we got a few things we're going to talk about today, guys. One, we have a live nutrition challenge that is going to be starting soon with Elizabeth and I. We're super stoked about it. It is going to be officially starting on June 19th. That's a Monday. If you're already a training club member, you get free access to this challenge, and we'll be sending out more details via email about how to sign up and get the emails for it and everything else. But we're super, super stoked about it. And if you're not a member yet, well, this is a great opportunity to get in there, and we're super, super stoked about that. We have a little deal. There should be a link that we might be able to send. Are we going to be fancy with our link here? Yeah.
Oh, the link? Let's see.
Craig Artegra, we may have one. If not, we'll drop it in the comments and everything else just to make sure. But we have a little chance for you to get in there and join up with the training club and join the challenge and get, daily tasks from Elizabeth and I. It takes less than 30 minutes per day. Starts really simple, builds a little bit more complex in complexity as you go, but just like your training, you'll be ready for it when it comes. And you start with really simple stuff like...
If you're on YouTube, it should be in the if you're on YouTube and you're looking at us on YouTube, it should be in the top corner, that little I button.
Yeah.
That card. You can click on that, and if you're on Facebook, I will try to drop it in the comments.
There we go. So we have that. We're super stoked. This is one of the second challenges we've done, Elizabeth. People love it. You will love it too. Yeah. We have another fun little challenge in honor of Global Running Day, because Global Running Day was yesterday. It wasn't just regular Wednesday. It was special. You got that little extra running in. And it was a nice day to reflect on, what it means to be a runner. And we all appreciate running, from being that first beginner runner to being that more advanced athlete, getting ready for more difficult things. We all have those highs and those lows. It kind of ties and binds us together. But we also know what it likes for running to just kind of feel effortless. You have that day, the temperature is the right temperature. The wind is just blowing just barely at your back. You've just got that light gleam of sweat. These are lyrics from Craig's next song, by the way.
Right. I'm going to turn this into a song as we speak. I'm actually writing down lyrics as we go.
And but what we wanted to think about with our Global Running Day was really what it takes to keep us running strong and healthy for a long time. And if you have been around any of our videos for any period of time, you will actually pick up and see that we care a lot about your strength training, your injury prevention, your running form.
Right.
Now, how many Doritos you eat at night. We care about that too.
Somebody said that we're spectacle twins.
We're watching. I know.
Greg, where are you from that you call them spectacles? That's what I want to know about.
I do like spectacle twins. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's so we look super smart, so you guys will believe us more. I think that's why we wear them.
And I need to be able to see the screen. That's true.
That too. Need to see the screen. Want to be super smart. That's usually how this thing works. So anyway, back to the Global Running Day Challenge. So we have the challenge for you guys to reinforce this idea of being this strong, healthy runner. We want you to do things regularly with your running that reinforces that, hence the burpee. The burpee for us reinforces a little bit of athletic grace, your range of motion, your strength, your coordination, all that fun stuff. And so we want you to run a 5K. You have until Saturday to do it. And every kilometer, we want you to stop and do 5 burpees. Not too bad, right? Just 5. And the idea is that we're just honoring our athlete within as much as our runner. And if we can do those two things, we are cooking, and we have a free gift for them.
That's true. And if you complete the challenge, that's what this email is. You can email Nate at therunexperience.com, and we will give you free access to our training club, which is all of our programs, for the period of 1 month.
1 month, free training for everything. And you could even take advantage of that with our upcoming Healthy Habits Challenge, just at the price of 25 burpees. Not a bad deal. All you guys need to do is email me. Yes, I am soliciting you to email me online. Scary.
It is scary.
But we trust you, right?
What's the time frame on this? When can they email you?
They need to email by Saturday. Okay. And use in the subject line hashtag TRE Global, or I just did my burpees, yo, and give me some free training.
So we got a bunch of people commenting here. Kyra8765, been training for my first half marathon. Your videos have definitely helped. Awesome. Great. Some people are still getting a little buzz, volume pretty low. Maybe you should stick the mic near your face.
Yeah, maybe we just need to go there. I've been told that I need to eat the microphone, which is, a thing.
So if you see the little green bars there?
Yeah, that goes up a little bit better. All right. Hopefully, guys, this is better. If I stray away, that's the deal.
And if you guys are still having problems with the mic, let me know. I'm here. This is why we need 2 of us. We probably need 3 of us, to be honest. We need 1 person full-time on tech support, but I'm pulling double duty, and Nate is going to talk now about what's next.
So
I wanted to talk about the event this summer. Should we talk about that now?
Let's talk about, we have an event coming But first, guys, you guys have been asking about our upcoming strength program. The videos are being edited. The pages are being finalized. We're super excited to launch this. We'll be launching this by the end of the month. Guys, this is a strength program that I haven't really seen before by anyone else for runners or coaches. We're super proud of it. Kirk and I and the whole team put a lot of work into this thing, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to work for you in a gym, basically anywhere. Yep. We give you options for different equipment to use, but you'll be pulling out some barbells, some kettlebells, some dumbbells. You'll be doing some funky gymnastic stuff, as well as just some really good, detailed, runner-specific stuff that's going to help you a ton, and it's going to go so well with what other run program you're following. Ideally, it's one of ours. You know, we're a little biased there. Maybe a little biased, who knew? But also, it works great with whatever coach. And, you know, if you're a run coach out there and you believe in strength training, we would love to show you this program so that you could use it with your athletes. Because rather than just kind of send them out to Google land, and you don't always know where you're going to land, we would love to be your strength resource.
Absolutely. I got a couple things actually I would say about that. One, as you know, Nate and I have been doing this now for 3 years. We have brought you so many videos, both on YouTube and in our programs, especially. And each one of our programs, I mean, we shoot 70 to 100, like in the high 10s, like 70 to 90 videos at least. Some of our programs have hundreds of videos in them. And it's because we want to give you very clear instruction on the movements. The videos are very short, so you can always like check in on them before you run. But our kind of like production value has really gone up. I mean, we flew in our coaches to film this. We took some gym space. Actually, a shout out to Flagship Athletic Performance, Mark and Will over there, who let us use the gym to film this. And we have just been kind of really working hard and getting our programs to just be better and better for you guys. And the strength program came from requests that you guys had about wanting a specific strength program, and that's why we did it.
Totally. Guys, we're talking hand-filmed organic videos just for you for strength. It's going to be amazing. And that's going to actually dovetail nicely into our next thing. I know, how California. We're going to talk about our next super fun thing we've got coming up this summer. Dun, 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 dun. It is going to be... Is that the little switch over?
I don't know. I got to try it. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. We are doing a virtual summer 5K.
Right. So this has been a project that, you know, we've wanted to do for a while now, and we're going to start doing more like live running events, and this is the first one. So the virtual 5K is going to work. You know, we're going to have a registration, we have a medal, we have like race bibs that we're doing, and we're going to have a specific weekend where you go and you can enter a race wherever you are, or you can run the 5K on your own. We're going to track it through a running app, and then we're going to let you upload your results. And that way we can all run together. Now, the key here is that we are going to be helping you train as well, because that's what we do. It's not just a race. It's the entire experience of training for the 5K and then running it together. And we did kind of a first run of this about 2 months ago. And Nate and I ran a 5K. You know, hundreds of you guys ran a 5K as well. And we were really, really enthused by how many people really sign up for that. And we're like, okay, let's do this again, because we train you all the time, but a lot of times we don't help you out with that last step. And so we thought, let's go ahead and do the virtual 5K. We'll give people medals. We'll make it an official run experience event, and we're super psyched. Yeah.
Guys, the medals are hella dope. Yeah, really I think that's a cool California way to say things. That you know, has some kind of fun little aspects to it, but. Will we giving people a sneak peek of the medals at some point?
We will give you a sneak peek, but right now I'll tell you that it's not just any medal. It is a bottle opener that turns into a fridge magnet. So when you're done with it, just hanging around your neck, you can keep it around. And we're just really excited to kind of make this like an official run experience event. We are getting into. We really like the idea of starting to do more community type events, whether it's virtual or in person. So. You know, we did our first Daybreaker run, which was a run at sunrise when we were in New York. And some of you guys joined us. We got some video there. It was super fun. we got up really early in the morning, and so did everybody else, and then ran in Central Park. And what we would love to do is start doing more of those events, and that means they'll be led by us when we're traveling here, and also led by you guys, which we will be announcing, an ambassador program, so you guys can start run experience, running groups, so you meet in the morning and go for a run, and we'll help you out with the organization of that and so on. But look for that to come.
Yeah, guys, super stoked about this. The medal is also an alarm clock, and I've been told that it will help out and do your taxes.
I don't know anything about that.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anyway, I can neither confirm nor deny that it'll do those things. But anyway, we're super stoked about the 5K. It's going to be a really fun way for all of us to run together and to participate, and you guys get some cool TRE swag to boot. And now we enter my most favorite part of the live show program, is what weird stuff is in Craig's fridge now.
So
did I miss another favorite part?
No, but so what's gonna happen? So I like to do different. I like to do my own health challenges. How's that? And so I routinely kind of change up my schedule, my eating schedule. Sometimes it's my sleeping schedule. So I was gonna talk about one of two things. One is my new early rise program. You have the coaster attached to your cup there. And so about 3-4 weeks ago, I did the first sunrise run, and this was actually with our friends over at Territory Run Company.
Who are doing our T-shirts.
Who are doing our T-shirts, right? And they organized a sunrise run, which was super fun, and it made me get up at 4:45 in the morning, which is insane.
What's that like? What's that like? I have no idea.
Nate gets up at 4:45 every morning. I think it's kind of crazy. But what was really great was that I started running just really early. And since then, whenever I'm home, granted we've been traveling a little bit, but I've been going to bed at like 10:30 versus 12, which is what my normal bedtime is, and just getting up at like 5:30 versus usually be like 7. And so it's been great. I have really, really loved trading the hour and a half at night for the hour and a half in the morning. Now, so that's one of the things I've been doing. Second thing we're going to talk about is how to stock your fridge, because I like to cook, but Nate and I have been traveling for a week and a half.
Weeks,
yeah, we were in New York, and then when you're traveling, you really don't have the option of having fresh food in your fridge when you come home. And so what I've gotten really used to is stocking staples in my freezer. So I'm gonna go grab some stuff from my freezer, show you what I have, and it's gonna be a little expose.
And I always get a crack up with this, but seriously, I think one of the challenges is like you get all this stuff in your fridge, and then you go out a bunch, or you're traveling or you're away, and then all of a sudden this food is just sitting in your fridge, and you have to throw it out. Craig has done weird things before, like putting lemon juice in ice cubes, and we had some delicious lemony water. Man, I actually want some more delicious lemony water, Craig. If you have any lemon ice cubes, I definitely appreciate. I definitely appreciate one. But he's got a little system, and we wanted to share it with you because not only does it kind of fit the Craig's weird food stuff, but it's also kind of fun and kind of useful. So we can go ahead and check that out as he's looking around into that stuff. And in the meantime, let's check out. What do we got here?
I don't know. I just took a whole bunch of stuff. All right.
What do we got?
We're back.
We are back.
All right. So first off,
lemon ice cubes. Here, let me take one of these guys. Yoink. Guys, these things are delicious. It looks like this, but it's all lemon juice.
The seed from one lemon. So basically, if you cook, you know that lemons are great for chicken or whatever you're cooking. Lemons are great as an acid. And so I always have a problem of them going bad. I buy a big bag of them. They go bad before I get it. Oh.
I'm not even holding. Yeah, let's start over.
Okay, so lemons. I buy a lot of lemons, and for cooking and for just generally putting in my water, whatever it is, and they usually go bad before I get a chance to use all of them. So what I do, that's going to be real. Oh, you're going to put in your water. Okay, that's going to be better. So what I do is I throw them into a silicone ice cube. These are great. They're on Amazon for a few bucks. These silicone ice cube trays. And then I throw them in my freezer. And you can actually do just about anything like this. So whenever I have excess produce of any kind, if it's if it's squeezable, then I put it into a tray like that. Or you can even put like excess like herbs, for example, or a thing that if you cook with, you cannot keep herbs around when you're traveling.
Yeah.
They always go bad.
fall apart.
So yeah, and then I throw them into my water. I throw them into a smoothie. And so other types of things, smoothie ingredients that I really like, you can't. So I buy fresh spinach, but when I buy it, I will use it as much as I can. And then after a couple days, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm not going to be able to use right away. I throw it in a bag, throw it in the freezer, and it's perfect. I actually like that a lot better than buying frozen spinach because I get to use the fresh part when I'm using it, and I know what it is that I'm consuming.
So basically, it's just like throw your greens in the freezer in a little baggie. What else we got?
The opposite of that is blueberries and berries. So I buy this huge thing from Safeway. This is probably like $12 or $13, but it's like 3 pounds of blueberries. And I don't buy fresh ones because they're super expensive, whereas the frozen ones are wild, and I can get a ton of them. I pour these into my smoothies. I pour them into yogurt.
Yeah, they're kind of fun to eat frozen, right? Like you can just eat them and they just sort of defrost a little bit.
Like dye your hands, but they're great.
Willy Wonka style. What else we got?
This is an expose on my smoothie making. We'll make an actual smoothie next.
We gotta save things for future episodes, Craig. We can't show all the weird stuff. But what do we got here? Let's see this stuff.
So golden flax, not something you want to just pop in your mouth because you won't digest it. But if you put it in your smoothie and blend it up, totally great. Or you can get the ground up flax. I tend to buy the whole stuff.
But we need to talk about the type of horsepower you need in a blender to blend the flax.
I'm in love with my blender. It's a Vitamix blender. I am not being paid to say this, but Vitamix is an amazing company. They're extremely expensive. They're like $400, but I use it every single day. So it's totally worth it. The other thing I have is chia seeds. I take everything out and put it into glass jars just because it's easier to handle. I don't have to handle like 15 bags in the morning,
and it looks good.
Yeah, and it looks good. It's appetizing. Chia seeds also great. Like I don't know, omega-3s. Like kind of adds a little bit of density to the smoothie. I always toss in a couple of tablespoons of this. Yeah.
I love that. So we got our flax seeds. We got our chia seeds. He's got to put his stuff back in the fridge as we go here. And, guys, as we go here, we start to transition to the meat and potatoes of our live shows, which is connecting with you and getting your questions. So why don't you go ahead and start dropping those down, and we will see what's going on and to talk to you a little bit. Right now, I need Craig to help me figure out which questions you're asking, but if you just start chipping away, I will be able to see them as we start to go. Let's see here. I think, where is Nate's hat? Todd, I'm not wearing my hat today. Hats are out. That was so 2017 June, and we are on to new, better things. Anyway, yeah, there we go. We got our little YouTube hat. So where do we see? Let's pull up some questions for YouTube. Let's see where we can get those guys.
They're like a dork. I do. I don't wear hats, guys. This is not my thing. This is his thing. I do need to get a haircut, though, so.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So let's pull up questions so we can get some
let's do it.
questions in here.
All right. Let's see what we're doing here.
So let's go.
How many days? So Gregory Byline says, how many days do you recommend between strength workouts?
That's a good question. I like that one, Gregory. I would say, please fix this.
Todd wants you to wear your hat.
I know, he wants me to wear. So I would say that for most runners, depending on the type of season, especially now when most runners are running more, 2 strength days a week is a really good place to start. And sometimes that could be a Tuesday, Thursday kind of situation where you at least have one day in between. You could certainly put 2 days in between, but it's good to balance them with your harder running days as well.
Right. So Birat Basar says, how many plyometric training should a sprinter do per week? Plyometric training. Okay, how do you compare plyometric training to regular strength training?
So specifically, plyometric training is going to be faster moving, explosive movements that aren't necessarily full range of motion. And they're not necessarily challenging you from a load perspective, but they're challenging you from a speed perspective and, that power output. It's an important part of strength. It could be featured in different ways. Like you could do it in the context of being in the gym, like box jumps or something like that. But you could also do this on the track. Like you could do bounding and other types of exercises as well. I would probably say, one flavor of each. I will confess, like I'm a terrible sprinter. It's like I'm not good at that at all. And I'm sure there are some sprint coaches out there who are looking at me and they're just shaking their heads. I'm not a super sprint coach, so I'm not super familiar there. But with my regular endurance athletes, I like to keep some in there. I think that tapping into that area is super important. I mean, did you ever do it in college?
What, sprints?
Plyometrics?
Yeah, we did plyometrics. We did a lot of bounding type of exercises. Yeah. And you can consider stairs to be plyometric, depending on how you're doing them. But mostly strides and bounds, I think. Yeah, we're like kind of the explosive nature.
Well, you had to go over.
I also played basketball in high school, and then we did a lot more plyometric stuff there. But for sure, yeah. I mean, increasing, even if you're 11-minute, 12-minute mile pacer, I wouldn't necessarily say you're going to do plyometrics, but working on your speed. I mean, a lot of times people think of long distance versus speed, but working on your turnover, working on your cadence, working on your speed in general is valuable for everybody, because a lot of times when you start focusing on that, it forces you to look at your biomechanics, and it forces you to look at your running form in general. And, it's kind of counterintuitive, but sometimes it's healthier for you to be moving a little bit faster and getting your turnover a little bit faster. So it's not, sometimes people think like, oh, like I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to go really easy on my running, so I'm going to run a lot slower. But sometimes your biomechanics break down at that slower pace, and so it's actually a positive thing to look at your running as something. Hey, you have to hit a certain pace to have good efficiency and good mechanics, and that's safer for your body.
Yeah. It is, and one of my best ways to start those types of workouts would be over very, very short distances on like a nice soft surface. So something over like 30 meters or 50 meters, like half of a soccer field, is a great way to start with some strides and some bounding and some other types of sprints, with lots of easy walking and resting and recovery in between. I think that's definitely a good way to go. That's a good question.
Yeah. All right, so we have a couple other questions, and guys, you're welcome to pile in if you guys have questions for us. We are answering questions on both YouTube and on Facebook, although the YouTube comments keep disappearing. There they are. Let's see.
As these start to come in, Gail says here, and guys, if you're just tuning in, this is our live show. We do this every week on Thursdays when we can, from 12 to 1. We give you little updates on what's going on in the TRE world, new programs that are coming out, new live challenges that we're offering for you guys. And we're also taking your questions. So if you have any comments or questions on anything training related, goat milk. We take goat milk questions too.
Hey, what kind of supplements are you taking? I don't largely have answers to that. But Gail says, I like this question. I just completed my second half marathon a month ago. Congratulations, first of all. That's a hell of an accomplishment. And I'm thinking about doing a marathon at the end of October. Is it possible in this time frame, October? Yeah. Totally. Absolutely. I think one of the things, this is one of those questions where you can answer just, is the time frame right? Sure. But there are some nuances here, which is, what is your injury history? So if you, in the course of completing your half marathons, faced a bunch of problems and you still have some nagging issues, well, I would say, yeah, you can still do the marathon in October. You can still set that as a goal, but there are some probably shorter term goals that you need to establish in terms of getting yourself healthy and prepared for that mileage. It is a good progression to do a couple half marathons before your marathon, but it's also a completely different set of requirements for your, not different, it is a increased set of requirements for your body to be able to handle that mileage. So just because you did the 2 half marathons doesn't mean it's going to be just a straight shot to the marathon. Can you do it? Absolutely. But what we implore you to do is to do it healthfully which is different than just completing it. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, the ability to, train more, we're looking for that higher payout. And that higher payout, though, just like anything, also has that higher risk factor. And so basically what Craig is saying is that you want to arm yourself with the tools to prepare for your marathon and expect that something's going to go wrong. Like, it's too long a period for nothing to go wrong. Like, you're going to get sick. You're going to miss a workout. Something's going to feel funky in your body. And a lot of times our options are to kind of rest and ice and hope it goes away. And the other option is to do something about it.
Yeah, and the reason that Nate is saying that, hey, something's going to go wrong, is one, because statistics will tell us that. I mean, when you look at runners, there's 2 out of every 3 runners is going to get injured this year. And when you start to push the line, like if you're pushing a marathon and you haven't done it before, it means you're hitting an edge. And for me personally, actually, and I think for a lot of runners, the marathon is actually a very difficult distance. It's hard to do. Obviously, a marathon's a difficult event, but what's really important is that a half marathon, a lot of times you can be generally athletic in terms of like, hey, maybe you were a volleyball player before, maybe you had some other type of athletic background, and a half marathon is I won't say an easy transition from other athletics, but it is easier. Once you hit that 3, 4, 5 hours that you're putting in terms of your marathon time, the time that you're actually on your feet during the race, and the similar amount of time that you're going to be putting in when you're doing those long runs, that's a lot of stress in your body, and it is very unusual for somebody to come from another athletic background or maybe no athletic background and to have all the strength and biomechanics and everything that you need your body to be able to do in order to hit that type of training and not break down. So that's why Nate's saying, something will go wrong, and what we preach here all the time is what is your plan? Like, how are you going to address the problems? If you go running tomorrow and you're shooting for that marathon, you start one of our training programs, do you have, or let's say that you get a free one online, because that's honestly, that's the most common case. You go and you find Hal Haven's program online, and he says, okay, in 3 weeks, you're going to be running 11 miles, on Saturday. So let's say you do the 11-mile run, and now you have a slight pain in your IT band, right? What is your reaction at that point? What are you going to be doing to actually alleviate that? What are you going to be doing to move through it and like treat that we'll call it a slight injury at the time? When that pain occurs, do you have a plan for how you treat your body? And if you don't, this is where people run into problems.
You eat a donut, you buy a new pair of shoes, you're good to go. Guys, it's Gail, the fact that you're asking this question is so great because you're thinking about it, and that's the best place to be. We do this stuff because we want to enjoy ourselves. We want to have fun. We want this to be a potentially stress-relieving aspect of our life. It can very quickly switch roles and become this biggest source of stress, which sucks, which we just basically don't want to be. So we just want to make sure that as you guys are training, you're set up there, and then it's easy. You can figure out how to roll out your quads a little bit, which is why we put so many videos out there in our training programs and everything else. How do I determine? Oh, Susie says, hey, what's up, Susie?
Hey, what's up? Hey, Susie, it's always good to see your name. She says, I'm on day 39 of my marathon training program and having a hard time doing the workouts as scheduled. I usually hit them all, but not in order. Sometimes I double them up. How bad is that? Double them up.
I think what she's saying is that she might miss a day, and then she does 2 workouts the next day. Susie, it's hard to be that erratic, especially when you're that deep into the program. Our body really responds to like kind of consistency from a just like a programming standpoint. Like if we need to switch things up every once in a while, then in all honesty, if you're changing things too much, it's gonna be hard, irrespective of what the specific program is.
Yeah, and I would again, most people, when you're in the marathon training program, so the problem people have with the marathon training and just in general, whatever program you have, is not that they didn't get enough mileage in and need to like double up on workouts. Usually the problem is that they're not healthy at the starting line. Something breaks down. So Susie, what I would tell you is, and this is without knowing your specific situation, if you want more depth, you're in our program, so you can go to our VIP forum, which I know you're in, and we can go more in more depth. But what I would say generally also is that if you miss a workout, take it as a rest day, maybe swap the rest day around, and then continue on the program. I would urge you to probably think of it as adding an extra rest day to that week, right? And sure, you lose a little bit of training rather than doubling up, because doubling up seems like a very high-risk way of approaching your training.
But doesn't it also depend on why she's skipping the days in the first place? Because, like, if you are, like, underslept, underfed, you're sick, skipping that workout is absolutely smart. But if all honesty, like, you skipped a workout because you kind of saved it for the end of the day and a bunch of stuff happened, or, there's a week where, like, it just wasn't able to fit into your schedule, like, that gets a little bit more difficult. Like, there are times where you can move things around, but also, like, guys, like, here's the deal. Like, when you sign up for a marathon with my triathletes who are training for Ironman, it's the same deal. Like, the training is the training, and we can be as efficient with it as possible. But for you guys who want to do this, like, think ahead, plan ahead, set aside this time. Like, let your family and friends and work know that you have this training coming up, and try to budget as much time as you can as possible. Some of you guys are already getting up. We're not preaching or telling you, like, I don't know, like, maybe you have kids, maybe you're traveling all the time. Like, we get it. It's hard. But it's like, just from the training standpoint, there's no way that we can get around that. And the better you plan, the better you're gonna have those things.
And any program, including ours, has core workouts, right? Like the long run, the tempo run, and really important, the run where we do the skill-based workout. Those are like the core runs of the week. We do have an easy day, we have a rest day, we have a fun run day. Like, if you need to move things around, definitely you want to prioritize the core workouts, but you also don't want to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday core workout, and then be like, okay, I can't. That's all I have.
Core workout is in, like, key run workout for the week, as opposed to
not core, like abdomen, like abs, but like if you like, and I did this. I did our half marathon program just a couple months ago, and there were days where I was moving things around because I was go to the gym and do a CrossFit workout, and so I'd swap it out for the strength session and stuff like that. And I did modify the program, but I did it as, I made sure that the core parts are there. And I certainly, if something happened and, like, I didn't get sick, but if something was to happen, I would, my inclination would be to take the hit and reduce my training rather than try to double up so I can hit all the numbers. That, we always say, listen to your body, and then the plan should change according to your body. All right. So
here we go. Ben first says, what's up, Ben? He says, any chance this video could be released as a podcast so that I can listen to it later as past my bedtime? Are we going to become podcast hosts, Craig?
So we have, if you guys would like this as a podcast, we've definitely thought about it, and it's just a little bit of work. Right now, these are archived on, and we are putting them.
A little bit of work,
yeah, right, especially when it's on me, right? These are being archived on our YouTube channel, and we are allowing them to be publicly viewed afterwards. So they are, you can always listen to them there. We have another question. CZ says, thank you so much. You both nailed it. Needed to hear this. Great. We're glad you could help you out.
Stay strong, Susie.
Yeah.
Stay strong.
Susie's been with us for a long time, so it's always great to have this familiar names pop in. Isaac says, first half in 3 weeks. Woohoo! Hey, first half is a good one. It's gonna be a good day for you. Planning on LA as my first marathon. When is the LA marathon? I actually don't know.
Usually in February.
Yeah. Okay. So you have plenty of time. Any tips on training for the marathon when I cannot run outside much in the winter? I'm guessing you do not live in LA. Let's see. Yeah.
Question number 1: who says you cannot run outside in the winter? Yeah. And I do say this somewhat hypocritically from Northern California, where it's beautiful all the time. But in a former life, I lived in New England, in Massachusetts, and Maine. I braved many a winter outside. Yeah. And in fact,
both Nate and I have put our time in the cold.
Yeah, we really have. And
no more.
No more. Yeah, exactly. But, like, get some tights, get a long sleeve jacket, dress up like you're going to go cross country skiing. It doesn't require that much clothes running outside in the winter to stay warm.
No, I mean, it's not. It's really, there is a little bit of extra, oomph to get out of the door. For me, it's actually the dark, because usually when it's cold, it gets darker a little bit earlier there. But I would say, one, definitely get outside. Don't try to do marathon training completely on a treadmill. But you can supplement. I mean, again, it's that kind of like, don't do your long run on a treadmill. You can. It's just, mentally very difficult. But you can run indoors. Strength workouts, you'd be surprised how much, how important it is in those times where like maybe you have a snowstorm and you really can't get outside that day.
Yeah.
Although I've seen and done myself a fair amount of running in the snow.
Yeah.
Another
conversation.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah. Actually, gear for cold weather running is actually something we should do.
Yeah, we definitely should.
Okay. Yeah.
So I just bring that up. I'm teasing you a little bit because it's totally possible, and you can.
Live in Montana. It's beautiful there in the winter.
Oh man, cross country ski, you can do it all, and it really is the same. Like embrace the outdoors, like small rooms that are windowless with satellite radio, soft jazz playing in the background while you're doing your treadmill is not always the best motivator, and literally getting outside can sometimes work. But we get it. Montana can be snowy. It doesn't always work that way.
And one thing I would say that, hey, if you're stuck indoors in the winter, there's always something you can do to better your body. Whether you are injured and you need to focus on your health and what you're eating, or whether it's cold outside and you need to focus on your mobility. So, like, take what you have instead of thinking about, okay, I can't run outside because it's negative 20 below. Take what you have and say, like, what part about my environment really can I utilize? So a lot of times in the winter is when I spend more time mobilizing because I'm indoors more, and I'm home earlier in the evening, so I spend more time on the floor, like with mobility tools. So try to use what you have, and as long as you're moving forward, you have a lot of time between now and February.
Yeah. But specifically, for the treadmill, one of the things that's helpful to make the treadmill mimic the road a little bit more is to get that treadmill up to like a 1%, 1.5% grade, and that minimizes the push off. And also know that when you're on a treadmill, it just has you in this lockstep fashion. When you're outside, there's naturally rolling terrain. So, choose one of the treadmill programs that has, one of those little spikes. The treadmill is a fantastic tool when you are doing speed work and tempo work because it locks you in that speed. So it's a really, really helpful tool that way. You can do short run and strength workouts where you do like a short little treadmill interval, jump off, swing a kettlebell or something else. That's really fun. And then the long runs, I would say just make sure that every once in a while you're changing the speed and the gradient slightly just for a little variety.
Yeah. And, if you I think he said he did his first half. I really think you should check out our program. The strength program is another thing you could do in the winter indoors, and that'll be coming out here soon, definitely in time for your winter. I like this question here. I have registered for my first 10K. It's this Saturday. This is from Toby, and I contracted a stomach bug. So you got sick, feeling better now, but not 100%. Any suggestions on what to do before so it's Wednesday. You have Thursday, Friday. You have 2 full days, 2.5 days between now and your race. My first inclination is if you got sick, you probably lost a ton of water. And so hydration,
lemon ice cubes.
Putting, if you don't have maybe noon tablets or whatever it is, the kind of like electrolyte tablets in your water. But I would say the main thing that you'll really run into is hydration, because if you had a stomach bug and you were losing fluids in any number of ways, that's going to really, really hit you.
So what should I do? Like maybe one of those like electrolyte fizzy tabs or something?
You don't have to drink in every glass of water, but like let's say that you're taking, four containers of your water bottle a day, put it in 2 of them so you have a little bit of electrolytes in your system and you're kind of like hydrating that way. The other thing is just eat well. I mean, a lot of times when we start...
Yeah. That's really fun. I learned that at the Tony Robbins seminar, that there is water in your food.
That's right.
I mean, it's kind of an obvious thing, but I don't know why it took me almost like 30 years to realize it, but who knew,
A lot of times when we're sick, the thing that happens is you focus on getting better, but like you're really kind of like, maybe not taking in as much in terms of caloric needs that your body's going to need. And, when that hits you on Saturday, if you didn't eat very much on Tuesday through Friday, you're going to start to feel that in the race. So first, I'd say is hydration. Second thing is just make sure you're eating properly. Don't worry about your training that much. Honestly, like go make sure you're running at some time before the race. But the thing I would worry least about is if your 10K is on Saturday, it's really hard, and people forget this. Like, it is very difficult to get more fit in the last week of training. It really doesn't happen because in order to get more fit, you need to have stimulus, which means you're actually working your muscles or your cardiovascular system, and then you need to have the response, which is your body responding to that stimulus, meaning there's growth, there's muscular growth, and you can't do that in a very short time frame. So when people have things that happen really close to the race, don't worry about your training so much. But food and water and hydration, those absolutely affect you, and they will affect you very short term. So make sure you're on that.
You know, I would say, like, if the first workout I come back, it's like ripping a Band-Aid off. It always feels like death. So you don't want the first workout to be a race. You know, maybe if the race is on Saturday, like, do something Thursday or Friday, but, like, do like a few intervals that are like kind of hard. Like, do like 5 by 1 minute running where you're cranking a little bit, and it's going to get the heart rate elevated. It's not going to be so much where it's going to have a negative effect. Like, you're going to feel like death doing it. It's going to suck, but it's going to help get you back on track for your race. I want to give some guys a shout out here. So we have some people tuning in from Greece. Oh, nice. What's going on? I don't even know how to say it. Basiliki? Amazing. We have Jillian from the crew. What's up, Jillian? Tuning in 5:30 a.m. from Sydney. That's pretty cool. What's up, Jillian?
That's the time I get up in the morning.
We have Diana talks about, she's tuning in from Trinidad and Tobago. What's up, Diana? How are you doing?
So I want to get back to this. So Isaac was asking this. So Isaac had earlier asked me, answered the question of, like, how does he run in the winter if he has a February marathon? And he asked a follow-up question, which I would definitely want to answer, which is, would you suggest getting marathon ready in late fall and then trying to hold it? No, I absolutely would not. If you are going, marathon program escalates in mileage. So, at the end of your program, you might be doing 20-mile long runs. You absolutely don't want to get to 20-mile long runs and be like, hey, I'll just do one of these, every 3 weeks or every other week for the next couple months. Your marathon training and all training is supposed to go in phases.
Yeah.
So you don't want to escalate to a phase and then be like, I'm just going to hold it. That is just asking for an injury. I would say
what about racing in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, he said he signed up for it, so absolutely, racing the fall is an option if it's really hard to train. But I actually think, like, look, this is not the first time somebody's trained for a warm weather marathon in cold weather. You can do it. I would say stick to, like, a normalized training plan. I, of course, recommend our marathon program, but stick that as much as possible. Again, with these programs, if I had to either add 10 days of hard runs or subtract a few days of the hard runs, depending on, like, I would always say, like, edge on listening to your body, and if it push comes to shove, miss a workout and take extra rest day, do extra mobility, extra strength, as opposed to saying, like, hey, I'm going to double up, I'm going to, like, hold my marathon readiness for months, or I'm going to, don't do that, because that pushing usually is how people get injured.
Actually, Steve Magnus, who's a fantastic running coach, just posted this in one of our training groups this morning, and it's an excerpt from his new book that's come out. I believe it's called Peak Performance, but he talks about how some of the best of the best runners will actually take, 4 or 5 weeks totally off at the end of the year as a nice reset. And I think that there's a danger in trying to hold on to your fitness for so long. So what it is interesting about running is that there is that peak, and you're just trying to time the peak with your race at the right time.
Yeah, and the thing he posted, which was totally right on the point, which is that if you don't take that, if you don't have periods in your training cycle where you are going easy, then that means that you don't have periods where you're actually be able to really push hard, and you end up in this kind of gray zone where you're never quite able to really realize your potential because you're not able to go through these phases.
That's cool. So this is an earlier question from David Phelps. Hopefully you're still listening, David. He's asked if you have any tips on hill running, both up and down.
Okay, so let's answer the question. I have a question for you guys, and I would appreciate if you guys just pipe into the comments. How many of you guys are familiar with our training club? Just whether you've looked at it or not, or like how many of you guys actually know that we offer programs? Because a lot of us, I know a lot of people find us on Facebook. You find us on YouTube, and sometimes we aren't as forward about the programs that we offer. I'm just curious, how many of you guys have have either considered it or at least know that we offer full training programs with coaching support and what that means. Because I'm curious whether that's something that you guys actually know is an option for you guys or not. Now we can go on to the question. So if you want to just pipe it in the comments, I'd love to hear that, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, I love that. It's like I want to know how many of you guys are training with us or not, and that you know we have something super rad called the Training Club.
A lot of people, I think, if you find us on YouTube, maybe you don't actually know that we have full training programs, because YouTube are we kind of go and we do these individual videos on different concepts, and it's kind of like reading an article in a magazine, but it's not a full training program.
Yeah, it's that little one hit just to get you in. What does Diana say here? Let's see what this guy says. Oh, cool. So Diana says, I like others to sift through the clutter for me. I want to sign up for your program. I can do 5K runs at 40 years old, running about 6 months now. Which package would you recommend? That is a great question. So, Diana, one of the things that we would probably recommend, depending where you're at, is to start either with our 30-day beginner running program or the 30-day challenge. And the beginner running program is a scaled-down version of that. But you're going to get some great weekly run workouts. We're really going to teach you good running technique from day one. So many runners who are more advanced who come into this are having to like undo all these bad habits from before. So starting in the beginning is so good. You'll get 2 body weight strength workouts a week, and you're going to start and end with a little test. You're actually going to measure your improvement in fitness along the way.
So this is a good, we can kind of blend these 2 questions together. So I'm actually getting a bunch of comments to say you didn't know about programs. So I'll talk about our programs. And again, you know, we have taken a lot of time to like take all the stuff that you see on YouTube and Facebook and put it into like a comprehensible form for you guys so you can get a video every day. So one, Diana, we have looped, like kind of as of January, we took all of our programs and we put them together into a thing we call the Training Club, and we keep referencing that. But the Training Club is all access. It's a monthly membership, and it's access to all of our programs. It's $29.99 a month, and it is a huge amount of training resources for you. Now, what programs are in there? And Nate was saying you should do our 30-day challenge. We have a couple 30-day programs, and when I say program, what that means is, you know, you might be used to going and seeing a website that has a bunch of numbers on it and says, hey, run 3 miles, run 7 miles, and you can follow those programs, but ours are very, very different. Ours, we have a mobile app, and we have a website that you get access to, and you can open it up, and then every day you get videos on what you're supposed to do that day, whether it's, you know, running in form, or it's a strength workout and we give you all the movements, or it's a bits on nutrition, or we do tempo workouts. We try to focus on mobility, form, and strength as kind of the tenets of all of our programs, and that's what makes us different from finding a program online. So that is all of our programs. Now, we have specifically different programs for different types of runners, right? So we have a half marathon program, it's 2 months. We have a full marathon program, it's 4 months, and that's what we consider to be a good amount of time to train for those races.
And what's cool within those guys is that we have more advanced training options as well as more beginner to intermediate options. So even within the same program, especially if you've been like, well, hey, I'm a marathoner, I want to qualify for Boston, the mileage and intensity you need to do to hit that is going to be slightly different than if you're trying to run your first marathon at all. So we kind of have you taken care of in that respect.
And, you know, our first program that we ever came out with is called the 30-Day Challenge. And the point of that program is to give you a foundation for everything else. So the point of that program is to give you mobility, strength, and running workouts that show you what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths when it comes to training as a runner. A lot of us just put our shoes on, and I used to be like this as well. Put your shoes on, you walk out the door, you're like, hey, I'm a runner. I'm going to go run my 3 or 4 miles in the park. Every so often you throw in a long run. Maybe you do some stretching, and that's it. This rounds out the equation. In order to be a runner, we have a very strong opinion about you have to be an athlete. And in order to be an athlete, you have to put in your body has to function properly biomechanically. You have to have enough strength to sustain the training, to not get injured. And that is what our program is about. So we have a 30-day program called the 30-Day Challenge. That's our foundational program. We made a simpler version of that for people who are just beginning and are just starting. Maybe they haven't run before, or they're very early in their running career. And so we have a beginner 30-day program called the Beginner Running Program. So that's like beginner 30-day challenge, half and full marathon. We have a 2-week program where you can just test it out, and they have kind of workouts you can kind of repeat over and over again.
And then we have some nutrition resources in there too. So it really is, you have access to kind of everything once you're in there, and you can choose your train. We have a lot of athletes who start with, say, the 30-day challenge or beginner running program. They get scaled up, they train for their 5K, their 10K, and then they go into their half or full marathon. So it's a way to do that, or vice versa. You've just done your marathon, you're feeling a little bit blown out. You want a month of just lower running volume and to really focus on strength and mobility and injury prevention. You do the 30-day or beginner running program on the back end too. And then you'll also have access to our new strength program that is releasing very soon.
And the Healthy Habits Challenge, so we do these routine health challenges. The point of those is not necessarily to go on a diet, but what we think is really useful for athletes and for people just in general who want to be healthier is to cultivate good habits. So we had a breakfast challenge where we focused on getting that one meal of the day down. That was earlier in the year. Now we had smoothie recipes every day, and then we have the Healthy Habits Challenge, which is coming up starting what day?
Registration closes on Monday next week, and then the program officially starts. The live challenge officially starts Monday the 19th. Yeah.
And that challenge, as well as all of our nutrition challenges, are only available. You can't buy them separately. They're in the training club. So you get access to all that stuff. And that is, honestly, this is the running experience. Like, we put out a lot of content for you guys. We do these shows. But that is our main thing that we offer you guys. It's the biggest resource that we have coaches as part of our team, Kirk and Holly, who are constantly working with you guys as well as us to help support you as you're in the program. So we put you into a Facebook group. We have email support, live calls, and coaching calls. Not like this, but we have coaching calls where we actually take live questions where you can call in and stuff like that. So this is our main. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with us from YouTube and Facebook, and that's awesome. And I hope you get tons. We put out, so much content for you guys because we really believe in our mission of making you guys healthier runners, because that's, Nate and I have been down this path ourselves. But for all you guys who are doing races, we have worked really hard to lower the price so that this is very affordable for you guys, and you can jump in and out. There's no obligation,
Yeah, Gail is asking, yes, it's $30 a month, and you're able to cancel anytime. We have an annual option. We want you to be psyched and be training with us at any point that changes, or you got something else going on. We totally work with you that way. It's just us, really, in our team that you're working with. Guys, I want to give one more shout out to our global challenge, our global running challenge, right? Because we talked about this earlier and we'll probably sign off with this. In honor of yesterday being Global Running Day, we want you to celebrate not only what it means to be a runner by going for a 5K, but what it means to be an athlete, and simply put, to do some burpees. So what we want you to do is run a 5K. You have until Saturday to do this. And every kilometer or so, you're going to stop and do 5 burpees. Once you've done that, post a photo of your run or your burpees, better yet, your burpees, with hashtag TRE Global.
Hang on one second. So the reason, I don't know if you guys knew there was Global Running Day yesterday, but Global Running Day is about getting as many people running as possible. So we really want you to spread, what you guys can do is, and we would love for you to do is spread this, the stuff that we're giving you. We're putting out all these YouTube videos, etc. We want you to spread this as much as possible. I just saw a question from Gail, and she says, do I get access to all the 30 programs for $30 a month? Absolutely. You're not tied in for a certain number of months, and all these programs are available on our website, so therunexperience.com. And you can, just go to the training plans section. You'll see very clearly.
So if they do the challenge, what do they get? What happens?
Right. And if you do want to do their Global Running Challenge and you email us with your confirmation that you did the challenge, we will give you a free month of access to the training club.
So pretty cool. So if you guys want to check it out, all you need to do are 25 burpees and a 5K. Not too bad, right? And go ahead and do that. Email me, Nate@therunexperience.com. Use hashtag TRE Global Online. That's the proof in the pudding.
Available for the next couple of days, though.
Only till Saturday. right? Because then we need to really focus on our upcoming Healthy Habits Challenge, and we got to move on that way. So if you want to take advantage, you got to act fast. You got 2 days to do it.
Now, Diana, could you please factor in options for vegans when looking at the nutrition aspect? So vegans, vegetarians, and other, whether you're gluten-free or any number of other different variations, like there's always changes that you have to adapt. Definitely, Elizabeth, takes into account different types of food, but it's not a specific. The Healthy Habits Challenge is about cultivating healthy habits for whoever you are. There are a lot of different types of athletes out there. Some people who are vegan, some people who are vegetarian, and it's about cultivating habits. So I think that you'll find, Elizabeth, is big on a bunch of different things that are outside of the norm as far as.
We are advocates for all kinds of milk, from cow milk, almond milk, soy milk, to goat milk. That's probably our favorite.
Goat milk is one of the things that has not made an appearance in my fridge as Craig's weird health thing of the week. So we'll see. Maybe next week.
Maybe it'll show up. Well, guys, it is 1:00. I need to move my car because that is a thing. And I need to take the dog out. I need to give her lunch, and I need to let her do her midday thing. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any other comments or questions, just hit us up on Facebook. We'll keep this conversation rolling. Definitely check out the training club. Take advantage of Healthy Habits. TRE Global Challenge. Run, burpee, email us. Free month of training club for you. We'll see you next week, if not online before then.
Cool. See you guys soon.
How do we end this? This is like the super awkward ending.